Here's my state ID. Let's see. Okay, hi, welcome to my Ignite speech. My name is Josiah Sanzo, and today I'll be discussing the impact of single parenting on children. So in recent years, there has been a dramatic increase in the amount of children who are being parented by only a single parent in the household. So it becomes natural for people to ask, what is there an impact on these children? And if there is, what are those impacts? Like to begin by giving a few statistics because I'm a statistics guy. So let's look at, for marriages, for example, according to the Pew Research Center, increased divorce rates have been prevalent since the 1950s. The proportion of women married since 1950 has gone from 65% to 47%. Of course, this has its due impact on children, meaning that from up till 2016, the percentage of children living with two parents has dropped by nearly 20%. Children living with only their mothers has nearly tripled, and only their fathers has nearly quadrupled. And so up to 26% of children live with just one parent in the household. And single parenting is so high, in fact, that even in specific communities, the single parenting rate is the norm, like in the Black community, for instance. The single parenting rate there is 54%, an astounding increase since 1950. Major increases are also present among the white and Hispanic communities, as well as some increase in the Asian community. This has some impact on children, mainly being the material, academic, and social behavioral impacts. I'd like to start by looking at the material impact, mainly looking at money and class. According to statistics from the Urban Institute, there's 24% of single parent households with another adult in the home, and 38% of households with a single parent and no other adults live in poverty or are at least poor, compared to only 8.2% of married couples, meaning that married couples are at the very least, half as likely as a single parent to be living in poor conditions. So in their school life, there's a government study from the National Criminal Justice Reference Service that showed that students who live with a single parent are more likely to be expelled, committed to reform institutions, and do poorly in school. As well as the effect on the social life is from the same, is that they're more likely to be antisocial or highly extroverted, seeking social support from various places, both good and bad, which can lead to increased likelihood of, quote, having behavioral problems or disorders, being more prone to violence or drugs, more likely to even become gang members or juvenile murderers. So there's a substantial impact on their social behavioral effect. Now, both parents have their due impact. So the fathers, for example, in a study of 111 children in 2008, it was concluded that parenting from fathers is more likely to result in more pro-social behaviors, better academic performance, and fewer behavioral problems. Mothers, on the other hand, are also likely to have their impacts they highly impact emotional development, and are more likely to children are more likely to experience fewer behavioral problems with involved mothers. Now, of course, is there a way to prevent these negative effects? Of course there is. Where there are problems, there are always solutions. One way is to have strong parental involvement. Being able to have parents who are strongly involved in parenting their children has been shown to help with child development, as well as be able to that even if the parent is stretched thin, they will still be able to help with the support. The parent can be stretched less thin by having proper support from a community. So that the stereotypical example would be a church, for example. Of course, there are other communities that they can look at. But having support from other communities and role models that their children can look up to in their lives, not celebrity role models, but role models in their lives that children can look up to, allows for them to be able to grow and face the impacts of having both parents, even if they don't have both parents. So I included a list of my sources with all the statistics I mentioned here. Um, but as far as single parenting goes, I want to thank everybody for watching, and remember to parent diligently. Single parenting does have an impact, and it's just it is possible. It is just more difficult, and it requires due diligence. Thanks for watching.